Why is it bad to not mow your lawn? It can be for other reasons too. I'm in Australia and have to keep the lawn short because long grass attracts venomous snakes in my area. Not just Pokemon hide in the tall grass. If you would prefer to not have to tend to a lawn, consider taking a look at our No Lawn and our Xeriscape. Native plants are 50x better for the bugs and animals than traditional lawns, and usually takes a lot less water, pesticides, and overall upkeep than a lawn. Make a clover lawn. No mowing. Property value and general neighborhood aesthetics is a big part of the reason. But also here in New England we often have nasty ticks infesting the tall grass. Squirrels, rabbits, moles, mice, and rats are not uncommon in local backyards this year due to drought. Best not to give them more concealment. Bought my first home 2 years ago that had an actual yard. It's mainly for pest animals. I live next to forest and see plenty of them at the property line. But very few like to cross that lawn because it's wide open. Also, especially this year, it was dry as all hell, and people flick cigarettes out their windows. Mulch is usually resistant to burn. Short dry grass is also still hard to burn, but long dry grass goes up pretty well. It's usually required in most or all American municipalities, so your property doesn't look abandoned. Unkept front yard and house is a way to know something is up with the occupants. Alternatively, you can do what many of us do out in the drier Western U.S. Get rid of the lawn and replace with water-wise native plants. No more mowing, ever. However, it does take some maintenance and guidance. Ticks and tick-borne illnesses. Hiding space for rats, which also bring disease. Fire hazard. It can attract pests, mice, rats, birds, snakes, etc., to make nests. If you have native plants other than grass, it's good not to cut them down for bees. Snakes. When grass gets tall, it also brings more area for critters to hide and make homes in. Neighbors will start to connect dots if they your lawn and an increase in mice in the area. You'll drive down property value for anyone trying to move. Also, you'll probably be getting off on the wrong foot with everybody. Keeping it short is a good idea to prevent fires. Keep creatures from inhabiting your yard undetected. Snakes. Mostly. And it's just good etiquette in a neighborhood. It's essentially the polite thing to do. Your neighbors don't want to look at a jungle in your front yard when they work so hard to keep their lawn nice. It will lower your property value as well if you keep your yard unkempt. People view unmowed lawns as a sign of laziness and lack of respect for your neighbors. At least in America. If you want to be a good neighbor, mow and water your lawn. What is the point of having non-native grasses in your yard if not for the aesthetic of the lawn? If you don't want to mow, then make the yard a garden area full of native plants. I've been slowly converting my yard to garden the past few years. Looks much better than grass and attracts lots of pollinators and birds. It isn't purely cosmetic. Weeds invade. Go to seed and spread. They infiltrate sidewalks and pavement, water systems and septics and do damage. Uncared for lawns attract vermin and insects to nest and proliferate, which leads to other health issues. Vermin getting into homes, chewing wires, stray cats and dogs because of the easy meals. It's a whole thing. On top of that, the overall image of neglect makes your property an eyesore on the street. No one wants to live next to a neglected house or have their neighbor's weeds spread into their yard. So house values will be affected accordingly where properties are neglected. You don't have to be militant about it. Most municipal bylaws have a height of 8 inches or so before it's a problem. That's your actual town or city, not just your WA. If you can't mow your lawn often enough to keep it under 3/4 of a foot, then you need to reevaluate the work required to own a home, because the lawn is the least of it. Lived in a suburban neighborhood in Florida. No WA. But the city would come around and give us a citation if we had even a single weed over 12 inches. The fines were insanely high if you didn't mow within 5 days. Pissed me off. Our mower was always on the fritz, so sometimes we had a few wild weeds. Now I live in TN in a rural area. No one would care if we skip mowing for months. But we mow vigilantly. Because here we have a pest called chiggers. A tick relative. That are the worst bite I've ever encountered from a bug or insect. They love tall grass. If you rip out your lawn and plant a nice ground cover instead, you'll never have to mow and the pollinators will love you. Not super realistic for most of us though. It breeds fleas and ticks, which will get into the house, as well as being a fire hazard. It is your own property. But you're also living in a community and a society that works best with mutual respect for one another. Taking care of the cosmetics of your home provides a more aesthetically pleasing environment for your neighbors, as well as helps to maintain or improve property values. An unkept lawn could harbor nuisance animals like mice, rats, snakes, bees, lawn grubs, or other lawn pests that can spread to neighboring lawns. Tall grasses and overgrown bushes can become a fire hazard in dry periods. It could become a safety hazard in case utility companies or workers need to access meters or shut-offs for maintenance. They may not be able to find them quickly, so they waste time looking for them in an emergency. It's your most valuable possession. Generally, you should take some pride in it and at least have a financial interest in maintaining it.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. TooAfraidToAsk is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.